You know what nobody tells you about Warren Buffett? He quotes Proverbs more than any MBA textbook. John D. Rockefeller, read his Bible every single morning before making business decisions. And here's the kicker. The richest man who ever walked this earth wasn't Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. It was King Solomon, worth trillions in today's gold standards. But here's what blew my mind. Solomon discovered something about money that modern neuroscience just confirmed 3,000 years later. There's a specific number, $20,000, where everything shifts. Below it, you're trapped in survival mode, making desperate decisions. Above it, your brain literally rewires for multiplication mode. And Solomon knew this. He wrote about it. The secret isn't hiding in Harvard Business School. It's been sitting in Proverbs this whole time. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you in the third principle will completely change how you see that $20,000 threshold. And we're going to walk through the exact story of how Solomon himself crossed it, lost it, and built it back using a system that Wall Street won't admit they copied. Let me ask you something. Why don't they teach you in business school that the world's greatest investors are just repackaging 3,000-year-old wisdom? Warren Buffett's famous quote, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." That's straight from Proverbs 24, verse 6. Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad principle about assets versus liabilities. Solomon wrote about it in Ecclesiastes 11, verse 2. Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. That's diversification, people. That's Bible verses about money that became best-selling books. Here's the conspiracy. Solomon wasn't just spiritually wise. He was the first venture capitalist. 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 14 tells us he made $25 billion per year just in gold, not counting his trade routes, his tech innovations, his shipping empire. And he didn't inherit this. His father David left him a kingdom, sure, but Solomon built the wealth. So what's this got to do with $20,000? Everything. See, Solomon reveals in Proverbs 21, verse 20 that in the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil. The Hebrew word for stores means surplus, a cushion, a buffer. Modern psychology now calls this your financial activation threshold. Studies from Princeton and Harvard show that when you have less than $20,000 in accessible savings, your brain operates in constant threat mode. You make survival decisions, not strategic ones. You can't think long-term because your amygdala is screaming, pay the rent, buy food, don't die. But cross that $20,000 mark, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, comes online. You start seeing opportunities instead of threats. You can actually apply Christian principles for business because you're not panicking. Solomon knew this. That's why he said in Proverbs 13, verse 11, dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. That phrase, little by little, isn't random. There's a mathematical threshold. The parable of the talents in Matthew 25 shows us this perfectly. The servant who already had resources, he doubled them. The servants who had little, they buried their talent in fear. $20,000 is your first talent. Below it, you react. Above it, you build. Think about it. When you got $300 in your account and an unexpected $400 car repair hits, you're taking a payday loan at 400% interest. You're trapped. But when you've got $20,000 saved, that same car repair is annoying, not devastating. You fix it. You move on. You keep building. That's the difference between God's plan for financial success and the world's hamster wheel. Now, I want you to do something. Drop a comment right now telling me your name and where you're watching from. I want to know who's part of this community that's ready to break free from financial slavery and step into the abundance God designed. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button. This isn't just content, this is a movement. Here's what most people miss. The $20,000 isn't the finish line. It's the starting line. It's the moment you stop being a slave to your paycheck and start becoming a steward of God's resources. And that transition, that's where the next principle comes in, one that changed everything for me. Because if you think saving $20,000 is hard, wait until you see what Solomon says about multiplying it. The principle I'm about to show you was so effective, that when George S. Clason wrote The Richest Man in Babylon in 1926, he literally just rewrote Proverbs in ancient Mesopotamian clothing. Same principles, same math, same God. Let me show you how this works. Proverbs 21 verse 5. The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. Not hustle, not grinding 20 hours a day. Solomon said plans, strategy. That's how to make money God's way. We worship chaos. TikTok entrepreneurs flexing their hustle, Instagram showing people working until 3 a.m. Most of them broke, because hustle without strategy is expensive exhaustion. Solomon planned. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 2. Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. That's diversification. Risk management. What Kiyosaki calls assets versus liabilities, except Solomon wrote it 3,000 years earlier. When you cross $20,000, you can finally plan. Before that, constant reaction. Car brakes, react. Medical bill, panic. With $20,000, breathing room. You think 6 months ahead, not 6 hours. The parable of the talents proves this. Servants with 5 and 2 talents invested immediately and doubled their money. The 1-talent servant buried it in fear. Why? Scarcity mindset. No margin for calculated risk. That's life below 20,000. The others had surplus. They could invest, experiment, build. That's multiplication mode. Solomon lived this. 1 Kings 10 describes his empire: shipping routes, copper mines, chariot monopolies, multiple streams, diversification, automation. Every modern wealth book, just Solomon repackaged. Before we continue, if you're struggling, buried in debt, working 3 jobs, can't see a way forward, God sees you. If you need prayer for finances, business, family, anything, leave a comment. Our community prays together. We rise together. Drop that comment. Proverbs 13, verse 11. Dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Solomon just described compound interest. Before calculators, before J.P. Morgan. Little by little in Hebrew means gradually, consistently. Grow means exponential multiplication, not linear exponential. That's what the Bible says about wealth building. The parable of the talents illustrates this. 5 became 10, 2 became 4. How? Time plus consistency plus reinvestment. They let it compound. Here's where 20,000 becomes crucial. Making 50,000 a year but living paycheck to paycheck, can invest. But hit 20,000 in savings? Take 10% of income, 5,000 yearly, invest in index funds at 8% average return. 30 years later, over $600,000. That's Bible verses about debt freedom, not get rich quick, get rich sure. The richest man in Babylon? Just Proverbs repackaged. Pay yourself first, save 10% before spending. That's Proverbs 3, verse 9. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the firstfruits. Same principle, 3,000 years earlier. But Solomon didn't just talk saving, he talked automation. Proverbs 6, verses 6 through 8. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways. It has no commander, yet it stores its provisions in summer. The ant has a system, automates, harvest season, automatically stores for winter. Not willpower infrastructure. The automatic millionaire copied this. Automatic transfers, automatic investments, remove decision-making, remove temptation. Solomon called it the ant 3,000 years ago. David Bach called it automation in 2004. Same wisdom, same God. This only works after 20,000. Before, automating poverty, overdraft fees, late payments, stress. After, automating wealth while you sleep. Proverbs 22 verse 7, the rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Modern advice says debt is a tool. Good debt versus bad debt. Solomon says, nope. Debt isn't a tool, it's a master. The 20,000 threshold isn't just financial, it's spiritual. A character test. Hit 20,000, the world offers opportunities. Increased credit limits, pre-approved mortgages, special financing, decision time, ruled by money or ruling over it. Proverbs 22, verse 1. A good name is more desirable than great riches. Your character is worth more than your credit score. Debt erodes that. Here's the principle. Debt delays, building 20,000. Every dollar owed can't be saved. Every interest payment goes elsewhere instead of your future. Christian principles for business say wealth built little by little prospers, not on borrowed money. But Solomon gave the counter strategy: generosity. Proverbs 11, verses 24 to 25. One person gives freely, yet gains even more. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. Give while building 20,000? Yes. Generosity isn't charity, it's strategy. Relationship capital. Tithing, supporting others, helping builds trust, goodwill, networks. Kingdom economy matters more than LinkedIn. Never Eat Alone teaches this. Build relationships through generosity. Over time, opportunities, partnerships, open doors. Solomon wrote it in Proverbs. Farazi called it relationship capital. Same principle, same God. If this blessed you, join our membership community, exclusive content, early access, priority responses. You're supporting biblical financial content reaching millions. Also, Super Thanks helps fund production. Whether you support financially or not, share this, comment, subscribe. You're part of the Solomon Circle family. Proverbs 13, verse 22. A good person leaves an inheritance for their children's children. This isn't about you. Never was. 20,000 isn't for jet skis or Instagram flex. It's legacy. God's plan for financial success isn't about comfort, it's calling. Solomon had everything. 25 billion yearly in gold, palaces, wealth beyond modern billionaires. End of life? Ecclesiastes. Meaningless. Everything is meaningless. Richest man said wealth is meaningless? No, wealth without purpose is meaningless. Wealth ending with you? Vanity. Wealth, serving God's kingdom, blessing children, funding ministries, creating generational opportunities, legacy. 20,000 matters because you stop surviving, start thinking generationally. What matters in 50 years? Children's children. 2 generations ahead. You don't need billions, just faithfulness with 20,000. Practically, save 20,000 emergency fund, peace. Then invest 10% monthly in index funds. 30 years, 8% return, 600,000. Not for you, for kids' college, grandkids' homes, family's future. Teach children these principles. Model generosity, discipline, long-term thinking. They don't start from zero, they start from knowledge. That's generational wealth, not crypto gambling. Consistent biblical principles over decades. Warning, Proverbs 23, verse 4. Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Chasing wealth for itself, you've lost. What's your why? Consume or contribute? Impress or impact eternity? Action step. Comment now. I'm building wealth not for me, but for generations. Speak it. Let it be your North Star. Apply one principle this week. Automatic savings, budget, tithing. Pick one, do it. Watch God, honor faithfulness. Why does everything change after 20,000? It's not a number, it's a threshold. Surviving to thriving. Threat mode to opportunity mode. Solomon's 3,000-year wisdom activated. 20,000 isn't the goal, it's the launch pad, the first talent, the seed that multiplies into generational harvest. Buffett knows, Rockefeller knew, Solomon knew, now you know. The blueprint: plan diligently, build little by little, automate like the ant, avoid debt, be generous, think generationally. Practical, actionable, biblical wisdom working today like Solomon's court. 3 things. Subscribe, hit notifications, share with someone drowning in debt, hustling without strategy, thinking money and God don't mix. Join our membership for exclusive content, support through Super Thanks. Every bit reaches more people with biblical financial principles. May God bless your finances, family, faith, future, wisdom like Solomon, faithfulness like the ant, generosity like Christ. You're part of the Solomon Circle family. The best is coming. Build that 20,000. Then build legacy. God bless you.